So, what's really the difference between being truthful and being a prophet? It sounds pretty straightforward, but if you dig into a deep commentary on the Quran by Ayatollah Javadi Amoli, you'll find the relationship between these two ideas is incredibly profound. Today, we're going to explore his analysis of the Siddiq, or the truthful one, and the Nabi, the prophet, to really understand the spiritual path that connects them.
All right, so here's our game plan for breaking this all down. First up, we're going to frame the central question that's really at the heart of this whole commentary. Then, we'll zoom in on the key example, the prophet Abraham. After that, we'll look at the two big obstacles to achieving this state of truthfulness, one that comes from the outside and one that's brewing within. And finally, we'll pull it all together to see what this path of the truthful is really all about.
So let's dive right in with the core puzzle that this entire commentary, this tafsir, is built to solve. It's a question that gets to the very nature of spiritual authority and what it means to be true. So what is the actual connection between being a truthful one and being a prophet? Is one just a prerequisite for the other? Are they, different levels you unlock one after the other? Or can you be one without necessarily being the other? This is the big question the commentary sets out to answer. Okay, so this is where the commentary draws a really critical line in the sand. A Siddiq is all about a state of being. It's a rank of spiritual perfection you reach when your inside, your beliefs, perfectly matches your outside, your actions. A Nabi, or prophet, though, that's different. That's about an appointed mission. It's a specific job description, a role you're given by God to deliver a message. So one is about who you are at your very core, the other is about the work you've been assigned.
And this definition, wow, it goes so much deeper than just, not telling lies. A Siddiq, according to this analysis, is someone whose actions are living proof of their words, and whose words are living proof of their beliefs. There is zero contradiction, no hypocrisy. We're talking about a state of complete and total integrity, where the inner world of faith and the outer world of action are in perfect, beautiful harmony. So, with that really profound definition locked in, the text turns to the ultimate case study to make all of this concrete: the prophet Abraham. He is presented as the perfect archetype for understanding how these two stations are linked. And just so we're clear, our entire deep dive today is rooted directly in this source. We're looking at the detailed line-by-line commentary from Ayatollah Javadi Amoli. So we're not just getting a summary, we're actually digging into the really intricate arguments that he builds straight from the Quranic text itself. And here it is. This is the specific verse from the Qur'an that kicks off the entire discussion. Notice how it explicitly gives Abraham both titles. But what's really, really important here is the order in which they appear. That's the key. The commentary argues that this sequence is absolutely not an accident. Abraham is called a Siddiq before he's called a Nabi. And that implies a hierarchy, a specific order of operations. The state of being a Siddiq, that perfect, unwavering inner and outer truthfulness, is the foundation. It's the solid platform you have to build and stand on before God can entrust you with the massive responsibility of prophethood. So if the goal is this incredible state of perfect truthfulness, you have to ask, what's standing in the way? The text points to two main obstacles, and we're going to start with the one that works from the outside: the deceptions and the whispers of Satan. Now, according to the commentary, Satan isn't some equal and opposite power to God. Not at all. He's presented as a persistent tempter. His whole strategy, laid out in the Quran, is to basically camp out on the straight path and just plant whispers of doubt. He doesn't just invent lies. His real trick is to take falsehood and dress it up, make it look beautiful, logical, and super appealing, all to try and pull a person away from the path of integrity. And here's the crucial part. This external challenge is designed as a test. Satan's power is limited. He can suggest, he can deceive, but he can't force anyone's hand. This means the barrier is meant to be overcome. You beat it through sincere faith and an unwavering commitment to the truth. He's an enemy outside the gates, not one who's already taken the castle. But, as the text argues, as difficult as the enemy outside the gates might be, the more formidable, the more challenging obstacle is the one that's already inside us. This is the battle within our own soul. The commentary gives this internal battlefield a name: the nafs. You can think of it as our self, our ego, our soul. While Satan is launching attacks from the outside, the nafs is the very terrain, our own desires, emotions, and impulses, where this war for truth is actually fought. The text lays out a really clear progression for this internal fight. For most of us, the starting point is what's called the nafs al-amara. It's the soul that instinctively commands evil, the part of us that pulls us towards selfishness and untruth. The whole spiritual journey, then, is this demanding process of purification. The ultimate goal is to achieve harmony, to discipline the soul's desires until they line up with the truth. And it's no longer a source of rebellion, but a source of peace. That internal victory, it's everything.
Okay, so we've defined the key terms, we've looked at the ultimate example, and we've faced down the two great obstacles. Now we can finally pull all these threads together and see the complete picture of the path of the Siddiq.
And this is it. This is the synthesis of the entire argument. The state of being a Siddiq, a truly truthful one, is not some passive quality you just have. No, it's the result of winning an active, difficult struggle on two distinct fronts. It means you have to defeat the external deceptions being whispered by Satan while simultaneously conquering and purifying the internal rebellions of your own soul.
So you see, being a Siddiq isn't just a fancy title. It's the very fabric of a person whose entire existence, every thought, every word, every action, is a perfect mirror of divine truth. And according to this commentary, achieving this profound state of internal and external integrity is the non-negotiable foundation upon which the great mantle of prophethood is placed.
And all of this leaves us with one last big question. This commentary lays out a path of intense discipline and spiritual warfare to achieve perfect integrity. So what does this ancient path to truthfulness require from us? Not as prophets, but just as people trying to navigate the complexities of today's world.